Hello and welcome to this week's episode of How to Be a Great GM. My name is Guy and we are looking at being a great player this month, and of course the reason for that is my Kickstarter, the practical guide to becoming a great player, launched, and the link is down below, and that is for the book The Practical Guide to Becoming a Great Player, which looks at all of the things that I'm looking at in this month's videos and so much more. Go check it out if you are interested in upping your game as a player and to having more real experiences around the table and creating memorable characters and having a great time too, and understanding why it is that you are having a great time or not, and being able to solve that problem. Anyway, we're looking at the role-playing system from Free League called Alien. Now, Alien is a franchise that has been going since the 1970s. It is particularly atmospheric. It is action horror, has been and always will be, basically, at its core. And it is about xenomorphs, these acid for blood aliens running around terrorizing innocent crews or not so innocent crews. The book starts off by saying, you are expendable. The equipment is not. It costs money. You do not. So it warns you, you're expendable. You are not the most important thing in this game space. Interesting as a premise. The way that it works is it uses D6s, D3s, and D66s, which if you were like me, you're like, a D66, huh? What that means is you roll two D6s. One of the D6s is your 10s. So 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. And the other, of course, is the digits. So you can get a 66, or a 61, an 11, a 25, anywhere in between. So that's the premise. And unlike the other role-playing systems that we've looked at, this only has 4 attributes. But it is a very prescribed path for a reason. When you are looking at science fiction games, this is a common failing that science fiction games have, where players don't really know what to create because there are so many options available. And when you think about it, a lot of sci-fi is usually in the context of how we have seen sci-fi movies and TV series and stories and novels and comic books and things. It's usually a group of individuals against a thing. Star Wars, for example, usually a starship is involved somewhere along the lines. Recently, we've seen it diverge more because, of course, there's more series and things going on. But it is this notion of being together. So Alien goes, hey, we're going to just cut straight through all of that malarkey. And you are going to choose, and this is the core rule book, from 3 different approaches for your campaign. You're either going to be truckers, Marines, or colonists. Those are the 3 choices that you have. This is almost irrelevant in terms of your character, but in terms of the group that you are creating, it's hugely relevant. And so what this means is, unlike all of the other role-playing systems that we're looking at, this character creation begins as a group. You and your fellow players need to decide first and foremost what you are going to belong to. Are you going to be part of the truckers? Are you going to be part of the colonialists? Or are you going to be part of the Marines? And that should inform everybody playing as well. There is a room, I suppose, for you saying, oh, well, we're all playing Marines, and I'm not going to make a Marine. Sure. Well done for you. You're bucking the system. I suspect you should buy my book, because unless you're very, very smart, you're already causing problems, okay? Just saying, just putting it out there. Anyway, you're going to choose one of your 3. And with that comes a certain amount of prescribed thinking. If you're a trucker, it means that you are used to long-haul flights. You're used to going into cryostasis. You have some knowledge of how a starship works. You have knowledge of basic starship operations and things like that. There is a knowledge that comes with it. Same with colonialists and with Marines. And it helps the game mother, which I particularly like, the GM, the game mother being the name of the AI operating system that is used throughout the Aliens universe, sort of space. Anyway, the GM mother is going to look after you, and the GM is going to be running the game as well. And mother is going to be trying to kill you. But that's a different story. Anyway, so you choose your path, and then as a group, you start to work through it. And you go, okay, right, now we've got our path, let's now choose our career. And there are a couple of careers that you can choose from: medic, trooper, officer, business, corporate suit, company agent, pilot. There's a range that you would expect from within the alien space. So you're going to choose one of those, and that's going to give you some really cool things. And this is where we start to see, again, like some of the other role-playing systems that we're looking at and that we've looked at, the world space and the setting starting to influence our choices and the way the mechanics work. And that means we have to follow the mechanics first before we can follow the creativity, because the mechanics are linked to that. So you get your skills based on your career. You get a talent based on your career. Pilots should be able to fly, for example, right? So you get a talent for it, and then you get personal agenda. Now, in a lot of the Aliens franchise films and narratives and things, the personal agenda is usually what causes the whole thing to go belly up in the first place, and then also what causes the whole thing to resolve at the very end. The personal agendas playing out of individuals. Every single career comes with several personal agenda options that you can choose from or randomly roll, however you want to do it. They are vague, but still very, very, very strong. And like the phrases and expressions and essences that we've looked at before, are really useful to you as a role player. I chose a company agent. I was going to be a company agent, one of the nice guys, you know, just trying to do company work, believes that the company is doing good things for humanity. My personal agenda was, you're a nice guy, but the company is blackmailing you to do its dirty work. Get even. What an interesting agenda. So just that phrase, right, means I have to, well, what is the company blackmailing me about? What does the company have over me that I don't want anybody else to know about? Now, if I'm part of a group of truckers, if we are transporting cargo from one place to another, why am I with these truckers? I'm a company agent, so what am I doing here? Am I an inspector? Am I the company agent liaison? So I'm making sure that the company's assets are looked after. So that's the question. The second question is, what would they and whom would they blackmail me against, or who to? Is it my family? Does this character have a dark secret that they really don't want let out? What is that dark secret? And who would care if it did come out? Second part, I've got to get even. So I have a mandate to get even against the company. I've either got to get rid of that blackmail, or I've got to get rid of the individual who knows about that information or has that information. I've got to hack into Mother and delete those files somehow. There's some interesting mandates for me to play out with. Now, this is not to be played out in the adventure. This is to be played out over the campaign. So I've got to start thinking as the player going, what are my plans? My very first step is I've got to imagine the scenario that my company agent is sitting there and he's going, hey guys, I really don't think that what we are doing with the xenomorphs is appropriate. And someone leans over the table and goes, you know what? You're absolutely right. We shouldn't really be screwing around with the xenomorph. But considering what I know about what you did 6 months ago, and that you think no one knows about, I do. So unless you want the world to know what you did, you are going to go on this mission, and you are going to make sure that our interests are served best. Okay, what did they do? I really want to know. I really want to know. What did this character do? So my character creation is really taking off here. As a player, I'm going, okay, my character needs to figure out, A, what does this person know? How do they know it? How can I get it, destroy it, delete it, or remove it? And each of those big steps, I need to have little steps for as well. So I'm creating a plan for this character who then goes on a mission. And stuff is going down. Aliens are coming out of the walls. Betrayals are happening. Psychosis is happening. All sorts of wonderful stuff is happening. And in the background, I'm going, yes, but this doesn't help me. But maybe if we finish this mission successfully, and this person thinks that I am under their thumb and that I am now complying, I can get close to them and then I can figure out what they've got. So that gives me a plan. And then I can engage my fellow players and go, I have a confession to make. I collect teddy bears. I don't know what. I mean, whatever. What is the secret? It's up to you to decide. The last thing that it then does is it gives us some options for appearance for the career that we've chosen. And there are a couple of options here. And the one that I liked the most was that this character has a disarming smile. I mean, a disarming smile. So they've got a cheeky grin, a smile that when they flash it, you just want to smile back at them and go, yeah, all right, you mucked up. Yes, yes, yes. Half the crew have been eaten by an alien that you let out. But you know what? That smile. So disarming smile, someone who's a blackmailed past, something that's blackmailable, really, really cool. And then you get some equipment based on some choices that you can make. And again, that's it. And oh, there's some name options too, which is always quite nice. Character creation in Alien is focused, work as a team, go, hey guys, I'm creating this character. I'm creating this approach. This is what I'm doing. We're all truckers. We're all Marines. We're all colonists. And I want to explore these options. I'm going to have this, I'm going to have that, I'm going to have the next thing. So it's very much a group character creation process. And then you're adding in those little secret details. But everybody knows that there are agendas floating around, right? That's part of the game. So that makes the game, that gives it that tense edge. And then the mechanics of the game, you can get stressed, you can get super stressed, where you get so stressed you actually just go ballistic and you start attacking your fellows based on the situation and all that kind of stuff. So the game is very much about creating this space of distrust. And in a space of distrust, you need to have intense trust between the players. And the players, you need to be sitting down at that table going, I know what this game is about. I know that there are people sitting around this table who are going to try and screw me over because of an agenda that they have to fulfill. As a player, you are sitting there going, my agenda, basically it says that I want to kill everybody on this ship. I need to figure out how and how to get away with it. I think that looking at the role-playing system from fitting the character into the space and aligning them with the mechanics that are already there and that are prescribed for you is an interesting way of creating characters. And it's the questions that you then have to ask. Who, what, when, where, and why, and how. Those are going to guide you in terms of creating some amazing characters. And bearing in mind, you are working as a team. There are a group of you sitting around this table. Do that and you will be a great player. Anyway, massive thank you to our wonderful web goblin who keeps our website up and running, and to the editor goblin who puts all of these videos together for us. Until next time, I wish you and yours the happiest of gaming.